else. So here's the other issue when it comes to these drugs. A lot of people are jumping on board to these drugs because they see it as the quick fix. You see all of Hollywood doing it. And let's take the most famous person on that drug or that class of drugs, Oprah Winfrey. How many of you know Oprah Winfrey to have a weight problem for a very long time? So much so that she ended up as a investor in Weight Watchers, admitting that she ended up taking the drug, and then Weight Watchers went down in flames, and I think they even had to file bankruptcy after that. But here's the reason I'm here to tell you how these drugs work, and I'm going to give you a mini masterclass right now in the cause of why your belly fat wants to hang onto your body and not let go. Now, what I'm about to share with you, I don't want to complicate it. I want to keep it super simple. So I want to make it a story so that you can know more than what most medical professionals know about fat loss. You're going to learn it right here, right now on how to solve that problem. Okay. So if I say anything that's confusing, Cesar will interrupt me and say, hey, wait, can you explain that a little bit better?
Because sometimes it doesn't make sense to me because doctors know when they give you these long words that I can't even pronounce. Granted, I'm a layman, but I understand. I get it. So most of us can relate. So allow me to interrupt, but as you will.
Okay. So I kind of feel like this is a full circle moment because those of you who know me as a previous eye doctor. And I was going to talk to you about a couple of things when it came to these weight loss drugs, but the part that Cesar had announced earlier this afternoon, I would be talking about the vision loss that some people who take those drugs have experienced. So first of all, let me get the vision loss statement out of the way. What happens when you're on these drugs is an unfortunate increase in the ability to have a stroke to the eye. Okay. And I say this is a full circle moment for me because when I was getting my doctorate, I had to do a thesis and I did it on non-arteritic ischemic optic neuropathy. And I know that's a big word, but you don't have to know what that is. All you have to know is it's a stroke to the eye, meaning the blood flow from the back of the eye to inside of the eye can't get in because something gets stuck. So you end up losing vision. And when I'm talking about losing vision, it's not both eyes. It's only typically one eye. And it's a sudden painless loss of vision.
Like a stroke.
Yeah,
in your eye.
Like a stroke in the eye. So what happens when you look at the visual field of that person, meaning what can they see? They're missing the whole bottom half like that. So what happens? Those of you know my dad was a truck driver. There he is on that picture. If he had that happen to him, he would have lost his license to drive a truck. So if driving for you guys is important and you're overweight and you're considering taking this drug, think about it. You just may lose your ability to make a living if you can't see.
So let's keep our truckers in business. Keep your licenses. We know we have an issue right now in today and age in this country with truckers that are here not only illegally, but they're just going about everything wrong. We know I have family members, extended family members that are in the trucking industry. So this is vital to you. Weight loss, the right way, working from the inside of your body out, and I'll let you continue with the vision.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
So here's the other part of the vision that goes wrong, and it's called macular degeneration. But the statistics aren't as high on that, so I don't want to go down that path. But think of it like the center of your eye becomes deteriorated. So it's like having an annoying spot on your glasses. But the reality is this, because I'm here to be completely transparent with you. Is the drug scary enough that people should not take it because of vision loss? Well, here's the bottom line. People who are taking this drug are overweight, most likely have high blood pressure, have pre-diabetes or full-on diabetes, and they probably have cardiovascular disease.
How many of us fall in this category right now? Be honest with yourselves.
If you have all of those or one of those, you already are at a higher risk for a lot of things to go wrong when it comes to your vision. But I do see the statistics. The study is there. You can see when these GLPs the injection for weight loss started to come into play, you see a huge increase in the amount of people losing vision out of one eye. And by the way, guys, this is the sad part. There is no cure for this stroke. Once it happens, you're done. It doesn't come back on its own. And I'm not going to get into why it happens because that's not important. The only important thing for you guys to know is you have other options. When you take a drug to lose weight, you're going to inject yourself typically once a week. And the problem with that once a week injection is that it is trying to solve your belly fat problem, but not in a complete way. So let me go through why belly fat sticks on you. Whenever I get a new client, I always like to let them know, look, that big belly that you have, don't hate it. Actually love it, because guess what that is? That's your pantry. If there was a famine, that belly that you have stuck on your body right now is something that you can tap into if there were no more food on this planet. But we all know nobody has a problem getting food these days. Oh, I
got that for you.
Okay.
Oh, that's me.
Okay, that's
Sorry,
Cesar.
guys.
Okay.
So instant gratification is exactly that. It's not the healthy way.
Oh yeah,
Instant
there you
gratification.
go. That's true. Instant gratification, because you guys see Hollywood people do it.
It doesn't last.
And they go from a number of months, boom, they slim down and look terrific.
So keep crossing you.
Okay, but here's the problem. Think of the belly fat as a pantry that's on your belly right now. What you need to do is be able to tap into that pantry and utilize that food that's there so that the stomach will go down. But here's how the drug, the semaglutide, the injection works. We're going to set this up like a UPS driver coming to deliver packages. So this is my analogy, so it makes it super simple for you guys to understand. Think of your body needing energy, because that's why we all eat. You need energy. Well, think of the UPS driver delivering packages of energy to you, okay? And in that package, you got to open up the package to get to the energy. Well, the UPS driver is driving down your street, coming to your house to deliver those packages. So I want you to think of your house as a cell, okay? Because our bodies are made of trillions of cells. Every part of your body is made out of a cell. And those cells need those packages of energy. So when the UPS driver shows up, what does he do? He takes the package and he puts it on your doorstep and he rings your doorbell, right? You hear the doorbell, you go open the door, you pick up the package, you bring it into the house. Well, here's the problem when you have stuck on belly fat that you can't get rid of. It's typically because you have insulin resistance. That is when there's a hormone called insulin, and the problem is you can't hear that hormone anymore in your body. Your body has become deaf to it. So it's like the UPS driver, we're going to call him Mr. Insulin. UPS driver's name is Mr. Insulin. He's coming to deliver a package. He knocks on your door or he rings your doorbell and you can't hear it anymore. Okay. The other problem is not only you can't hear it. The second problem is the door is jammed. So you guys might say, well, if the UPS driver delivers while I'm at work, I'll just come home and see the package on my doorstep and I'll pick it up and I'll go inside. No, when you have insulin resistance, not only does your doorbell not work anymore, or you can't hear it, but the door to the house is jammed. You can't get inside. Okay. So what ends up happening is if you're inside the house, which means you're the one with the belly fat, you're trapped inside and all these packages of energy are piling up outside. The UPS driver's coming by every day. He's delivering more energy for you. These packages are just stacking up. They're stacking up and they're out there in the sun and in the wind and in the rain.
So bottom line, so go ahead.
So the bottom line is this. These packages are deteriorating. They're starting to get stinky. They're starting to leak. And where are they getting leakage into? Think of your street, your neighborhood. The street are your blood vessels. All that leakage is going into the blood vessels. When that leakage goes in, it's trash. It's rotten. It's going through the blood vessels. And as it goes through the blood vessels, it's going to cause damage to things further on down the street. It's kind of like a river. It takes this damage around to other parts of your body. So this is why somebody was stuck on belly fat ends up having cardiovascular disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. Maybe they have erectile dysfunction. Maybe they have sleep apnea. where they need a machine to be able to breathe. All of these things can happen when you get all these Amazon packages outside.
ED, erectile dysfunction, is that known as like ED?
ED, yes, ED. E as in Edward, D as in dog. So here's what ends up happening. How do you fix the problem? Well, some people, like Cesar says, wants instant gratification. So they get put on this drug, and this drug they inject into their stomach once a week. And here's how the drug works. It comes in and works like a megaphone. And it says, hey, Mr. Insulin UPS driver, stop delivering packages to that house down the street. It stops the packages from being delivered. So you guys might think, hey, that's a good thing, right? No more pile up of packages that rot and create problems. Isn't that good? No, the problem still hasn't been solved. Those packages that are rotting on the doorstep are not getting cleaned up. They're still there. And that whatever energy was in that package was supposed to go inside of the cell, inside of the house, but the door is still jammed. So the injection doesn't fix the initial problem.
Are you guys picking up on the explanations of it? Is it easier just to go a little more direct, or do you guys have any questions? Message us, let us know. I follow you, or I have a question on what you're trying to say. How about that?
So let me continue on with the other thing that these drugs do. They also slow the stomach conveyor belt, because you guys know what happens when you eat something. You eat something, it goes into your stomach digests it, and then it sends it along its way down the poop chute, right? Whatever you're not going to need from your food goes out the other end as poop. Well, these drugs actually slow the conveyor belt down to a crawl. When they slow the conveyor belt down of your stomach digesting, that means the food gets stuck in your stomach and it can start to rot. This is why people who take these drugs end up having nausea, vomiting, severe diarrhea. Any number of things could occur because the stomach gets paralyzed for some people. And I have had clients who have come into my program because they were put on these drugs before meeting me. And what happened was they would put on these drugs and they ended up not being able to succeed staying on the drug because of how sick they got. One client of mine said he spent the night on his bathroom floor because he couldn't get up to go to the ER, which is where he wanted to go. And he ended up that next morning saying, never again will I take that drug. And the reason is because it basically paralyzed his stomach. So it could not digest the food that he'd eaten and it got stuck. I have another client who actually made it to the ER where they had to have their stomach pumped in order to relieve them.
It's like a drug overdose, basically.
And then I have a third client who the drug did not even work for. Okay, so now let me go into why that happened. For the people that the drug does not work for, it's because their insulin resistance is so strong, meaning they have gone completely deaf to the UPS driver showing up and knocking on the door saying, hey, the package is here. Does that make sense? That insulin resistance can be so bad that the drug won't even work for those people. So those are two different classes of people. Now, for the third class where it does work for, guess what happens to you guys? Those of you that the drug works for, like Oprah Winfrey, it's going to continue to work until it doesn't. In about 1.5 to 2 years, that's when the body will shut off and not be able to listen to that drug anymore. But here's what happens. This is the bad part of the drug. When these packages that are sitting outside don't get into the cell to get energy, your body's not stupid. Your body needs energy. So it will get the energy from wherever it can. And if it's not getting it from the energy in those packages, it's going to start breaking down muscle inside of your body to feed itself because it needs energy. So let me give you. Well,
first of all, I just want to stop for a second. I know you're captivated because this is very important information. I have some huge shout outs, but today I'm going to skip on mentioning them personally because there's people that have wanted to come on this channel to learn and take this information very seriously. So I'm not going to mention names today, but I want to thank you for coming on board. Bless you, because you know you have nothing without health. So ladies, and if you're watching, men, if you're watching, pay attention. Take it into your hands. Be, like Janina says, the CEO of your own what?
Healthcare.
There you go.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you an example of something to put another spin to this story. When it comes to these drugs, it's kind of like if you go back to World War II, when the Germans ended up trying to protect these castles that they had. And during World War II, there was this really, really bad winter. Well, what happened during World War II is they cut off the supply of coal to these people. So what ended up happening, these guys had to rely on keeping themselves warm with fire. Well, the war went on so long that they ended up having to burn the mahogany wood staircases of these beautiful castles in order to keep warm. So this is an example of someone who's winning the battle on keeping warm, but they lost the war on keeping the castle. So when you take these drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, a semaglutide, you're going to win the battle on the weight loss because you're going to see the scale on the weight go down, but you don't realize that you're losing the war on the internal structure of your home, your muscles. And if we take another example of a very famous person who was taking the weight loss injections and admitted to it, that's why I'm saying his name is Charles Barkley. He had a problem with weight, so he went on the drug. He lost a lot of weight with it. And I made an entire video about it, which if you guys ask Cesar, DM him, I'll give you that link to the YouTube video.
But is it sustainable?
Exactly. That's the issue. It's not sustainable. But here's the big problem. I don't think Oprah Winfrey minds that she's losing her muscles because she'll just put on Spanx and look skinny. But I don't think Charles Barkley wants to wear Spanx and look skinny. He wants
Come on.
He wants to look like a big, strong man. So it'll be interesting to watch his journey and to see where he lands after being on these drugs, even though he's quote unquote lower in weight. But here's the problem, guys. We're not here to lose weight. We're here to burn off fat. That is the key difference I'm going to teach you guys right now. You don't need those drugs to do that. What you guys need to do is to eat protein, fiber, and fat when you eat a meal. The trifecta. So let me show you what protein is. Protein is the guard that stands in front of your muscles and says, nope, you're not going to burn these muscles in order to stay alive. Fiber is like the cleanup crew who goes out and rearranges those packages and cleans them all up so they're not leaking out into the bloodstream. And then the Mother Nature's fat. That's the fat you guys have when you eat an egg with the yolk, not just the white. That's the fat that you have in a ribeye steak that makes that steak so tender and juicy.
You know, I used to have this thing the way we were brought up, right? As Hispanics with the old fashioned, all the wives' tales. My mom, 2 eggs, no more. And I was brought up that way. And I swear, I honestly, was my ex-wife, Janina, my best friend to this date. I got to tell you, she goes, you need to eat a 3rd egg. I'm like, no, it's too much cholesterol. Well, let me tell you, she set me straight. I'm not sure if I look better, but I certainly feel better. My body's amazing. I'm lean. You can't grab my fat on the sides. Let me tell you this much, but go ahead, Jim.
I bet you noticed when you started eating 3 or 4 eggs, you felt fuller longer.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You don't have to snack. That's the other thing, guys. If you're out there and you find yourself eating a meal and then 2 hours later you're hungry, you did not eat enough protein, fiber, or fat. You have to look back at that meal and say, what could I have done better? And 9 times out of 10, it's more protein. But guys, not in a protein shake, for God's sakes, okay? Mm-hmm. We're going to talk more about that on Saturday. So I'm going to leave that conversation for Saturday because we have our podcast now that we are doing on Saturday at 3 p.m.
But don't give away all the spaghetti, all the whole beef enchilada. So there's a lot of things to go along with this programs. Our Wednesdays, our tweaks of the weeks are to inform you a little bit of these things, to let you know what's going on. We do have, Janina has private clients. There is more in depth to this issue, and it goes a long way.
I'm glad you reminded me. The tweak of the week. Okay. The tweak of the week today is this. In order to fix that jam door, you know how I told you the UPS driver is delivering, you're not hearing the doorbell and you're trying to open the door and it won't open. That jam door, you can fix yourself. And here's the easiest way to do it, guys. Listen.
Well, there's a lot of ways to do it.
Well, I'm going to give them the easiest
process.
A
How to
process.
go about it.
This is the easy tweak of the week for you guys to do. But I bet
one
you
little tweak.
One little tweak, but I bet you a lot of them won't do it, even though it's so easy.
They might try it for once,
okay.
But
let me tell you what it is.
Program.
When you eat protein, fiber, and fat at your meal, once you are done with that meal, you take a 15-minute walk.
Even 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes. That's it. And why does this little walk jams that door? It's because you're using your muscles, guys, right after you've eaten a meal, and the blood sugar from that meal can be easily utilized by your muscles. That's the tweak of the week. But how many of you, after you eat, what do?
Couch, movie. Okay, well, that little walk, for us men, there are men, or understand, even women understand this. It's like WD-40. You're working your body to help it go through your body.
Yep, there you go. And by the way, let's say, okay, because I do have Canadian clients, and boy, their winters are tough. I have several Canadians who say, there is no way I'm going to go out and walk. So you know what I tell them? Well, the good news is you can go out and shovel your path to your door, because I know with as much snow as you get. Oh, and he's doing.
Sorry.
Wait, he's doing.
There's a lot of things you can do, guys. You can do
tweak.
your toes, your calves. I mean.
Oh yeah, that was actually one of the tweaks. That was
something you just told your clients when we were up in Northern California, up in Pebble Beach. Just came back from there. That's right. 2-3 weeks ago.
He is right. That was actually a tweak that we did for our clients up north. But I also gave. No, maybe I'm confusing giving it to my clients. Okay, he just gave you an extra tweak of the week. Okay,
sorry. Well,
so here's what he was doing. He was getting on his tippy toes, and what this does is it moves the calf muscle. So think of this as my foot here, and this is a calf muscle. The calf muscle is like a second heart for your body.
That's what they don't know.
It helps the blood flow from your feet go back up to your heart. That is a really good tweak. And if you can't go out for a walk, maybe you can just watch TV by doing some toe raises, or better yet,
I think that's it. Look, guys, but I'm going to leave you with that thought really quick, because I don't want her to give you the whole meat and potatoes with this journey. But what she said is right. And correct me if I'm wrong, Janina. So yes, we have a heart that pumps our blood, and there's more to that. And I'm not going to go in depth into how that works and how you go about getting those measurements and those ratios, or what do you call them? Your blood pressure. There's one here, and there's one in your ankle. That's your calf. But we're not going to tell them all about it, because that's part of a whole health network thing, that education that she does. But there's a lot more to that.
Well, the whole thing is, guys, is tapping into what God already gave you in your body. You're not overweight because you lack Ozempic. You're not overweight because you lack Wegovy. And those drugs aren't going to solve the core problem. Remember, your door to your cells is jammed. We need to open those up. Okay? That's what we need to get done. And that's what can be done without drugs, done without dieting, done without exercise. And when I say exercise, you're not going to the gym, guys. I told you to take a walk. I didn't tell you to go to Planet Fitness for an hour.
All right. I think we're done. Guys, 26 minutes, 41 seconds. We thank you for being with us today. Don't forget, Saturday is our highlight. There's where we go about at least an hour. We give you a lot more information in depth. You're not going to get the whole meat and potatoes, but we're giving you bits and pieces. If you really want this and you're concerned with your health, your children, your grandbabies, your wife, you really want them to get healthy, reach out to us. Send a message to me, DM me. I will forward that to your life health strategists, and go from there.
And by the way, you guys can be a guest on our show, just like we have on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
See us on Saturday at 3:00. Bye.